Okay, we got Fire Badger Specialist with Hounds again. So many Hound openers here. Missile Spec with Fang Stormcaller. Saber Spec with Saber Spec with Sabers and Hounds is kind of a sick opener. It's not that... It is the lowest HP specialist, but it's kind of sick because you get cheap upgrades. Like, I could get a cheap field maintenance here. I'll just do it. I'll just do it. This is such a powerful opener. It's such a powerful opener. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get a couple of sabers. Maybe put them like a little bit in the... So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cover the left and the right of the middle quadrant with sabers. So we're gonna push the middle round one. And then round, like, going forward in the game, we're gonna get a left quadrant saber and a right quadrant saber. We're going to get multiple sabers. Okay? One of the reasons why we're doing it is because we're really gonna look at possibly getting field maintenance this game, and if this game also gives us devices, this could be insanely powerful at scaling. It's also good versus his starting army because he has single individual units that need to be killed with high DPS, and that's exactly what a saber is. So most likely he's going to make chaff units to support this, because if he doesn't, I'll be one-shotting all of his units. I respect his saber. He doesn't have as much DPS. I mean, we have the same DPS in two sabers, but yeah, I was about to say he doesn't have as much as me, but yes, he does. We both have two sabers. Arclight and Hound here are the AoE versions of units. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's actually do this. Do this. We'll do this. Do a Hound like this. Do another Hound like this. And we'll do another Hound over here. We'll just have Hounds kind of like engaging. Okay, we can see he's left. He stacked left. We kind of went in the middle. Our sabers are going to trade out and kill each other. Oh, actually, we shot first somehow, so I actually win that fight. That's fortunate. That's nice. That doesn't always happen like that, but it's great when it does. So now the saber is still living. It still is not dead. So this is going about as bad as possible for our opponent. How does it even work? I think it's the reason why I think it happened like that is because our saber was like already like I don't fucking know. I was about to try to explain it, but I really don't understand it myself sometimes. I was like, ours is turning more at him, whereas his is maybe turning as I take my first shot. But like, it's the same for him too. So I have no idea why ours won right there. It just, sometimes is how it goes. There's always something that wins. But projectile units sometimes do kill each other. I really thought they would have killed each other. So I'm surprised that that died. All right, what we're gonna do now is we do want to level this saber, okay? I want to level this saber. And here's like trying to think about the game logically, okay? We are not having a DPS problem right now. We have a level 2 saber already at the start of the game. We are not struggling in DPS. I don't want to take anything else here because what I want to do is I want to spend my money with expensive things. And this is already going to take 100 to afford this. If I take a device, I can't really afford a lot more. So I'm going to skip this device. I'm just going to skip. I'm going to skip everything. I get paid an extra 50. I don't feel like I think the device is tempting to take, but I don't think it fits my build right now. So instead, what we're going to do with the extra money we have now, I'm going to level my saber. I'm going to get another saber. And I'm going to get a... Here, let's do a saber right there. And let's get a crawler pack that comes out like in the middle here. Kind of like this. And we'll just have his sabers get stuck on my crawlers initially. And now he made a fang for the same thing. But yeah, I mean, we actually got crushed that round. We didn't get there fast enough, so we can still, for the left side at least, we can still fix this. We just need more hounds over there now and just more chaff. We can get rid of the fangs with hounds. But we didn't get that like super juicy round start shot anymore because he put a fang squad in front, so as he should. He also took a DPS device for his marksman. So that unit does ridiculously high DPS. The idea of me wanting to go for like an air unit that's really big is way less appealing now. I really want to swarm that marksman. Making the marksman not able to fight properly would be ideal for me. Okay, another DPS device. Here, again, I'm going to just go ahead and skip it one more time. I do not want extended range marksman right now. I don't want storm colors right now. We're just gonna continue fixing the problem we already have, and we're gonna do it with as much money as possible. So don't feel bad sometimes if you're like, you know, I don't want anything here because I don't need it. You don't actually need it. Like, if my saber connects to his saber, it one-shots it. I don't need a damage device to do that. So we're gonna skip it again. Take an extra 50. Put our next saber like over here. We'll go ahead and put our saber like over here. We'll get 2 more hounds. 1 hound over here. We'll get a hound over here. And we'll get 1 more hound again. Actually, 1 more crawler, really. Over here. Let's put the crawler pack on the side. Put the hound, like, right in the middle. So this hound gets on top of those fangs right away. Let's also give this hound range. And all hounds now have range. And we can see my hound is, like, just barely out of range of hitting these fangs. So maybe I move it up 1 little grid spot. It's still safe from a missile device. If you guys want a tip, here's a tip. This is something that like should dictate where you put units. If you leave 3 squares, like 3 grid spots, vertical between something in front of something else, so three spots, and then whatever unit is in front is faster or the same speed as what's behind, you're immune to missile devices hitting the back unit. You have to be 3 squares back. If you're not 3 squares back, you're in range to be missiled right away. And if the unit that's back is way faster than the unit in front, you could run into the missile with the back unit. So that's relevant to know that. I would say that's important to know. Make sure you know that if you're struggling versus missiles and you're like, man, I get punished by those things all the time. All right, our left side's gonna lose 1 more time. He's got his whole board on left side. He has like 1 unit on right side currently, or like very, very little investment on right side. So our left side once again loses. So what am I taking away from that? I need to juice up my left side even more. And our right side is winning, but it's coming at the cost of like, we're engaging at a point where we're going to get paralyzed again and we're going to lose the round. So our right side isn't a problem. Our right side's great. If right side keeps winning the fights, good for them. Left side, however, is more of a problem. Need to really respect it. Need to make it work. I have choices here too to make it work as well. We could do steel balls. I could do sledge. I could do tarantula. This marksman and that Mustang have he has 2 damage devices here. So we can see we skipped these things. He's taking them and he's transitioning into these units. We have a nice marksman for single target. He's got a nice Mustang that can kind of be AoE because there's so many of them, but it also is single target. So I need to compromise these units. I think Hounds already automatically, because Mustang is a choice here, is a great choice. And Marksman will die if the Saber can ever connect. So here's what we can do. Here's one way we can do this. Here, we'll attempt doing a flank, okay? I'll attempt a nice flank. Let's do a steel ball flank. It was free. I'm going to do this. Put a steel ball right there. I'll put a steel ball right here. I'll put a steel ball like right here. I will now also, and we can, if we click here, we can see the Saber is looking at my fangs and the Arclight's looking at my steel balls. Let's maybe do 2 more hounds and put 1 hound like right here. Put another hound like right here. So now my hounds are protected from missile devices because the steel balls would absorb them, and also they're tanky. And then now I have the way to like flank the side of his chaff here on the side and kill it faster, so I compromise his front units faster. Another thing we can do, again, this Arclight's also going to turn around, so it's going to ignore the crawlers here. Let's go ahead and get another line of chaff that comes out and helps us out. And let's go ahead and level up our other units. We'll get 1-1 as well. So now his Arclight doesn't kill chaff anymore. He does have a Typhoon now, which will kill chaff. So that's scary in its own way. He locks onto my right Saber again with his Saber and his Marksman, but our left Saber currently is tanking the Typhoon shots. He has a Typhoon with damage now. So he keeps rotating this damage device a lot. Our left flank is dying, but it had to warp in that round. Our right push still is pushing, but notice he has a tower that he's leveling up over here. So there's a few ways we can counter all of this. Here's what I'm going to say we're going to do. Flank is flanking. Let's leave it. Maybe I give an upgrade to somebody, but it's flanking. Now it's not warping in this round. It's going to be there. It's really up to him to how much does he want to add to like try to counter it himself. Right side is still pushing, but it pushes slow. Maybe we make a steel ball. Maybe we make that happen a lot faster because he's really power leveling this fucking tower. He wants this tower to be so high level. Let's really kill it really fast. Getting damage for everybody would be nice. I don't think quick teleport is great because I'm not trying to warp in too much more here. It's fine. I think we're just going to take the advanced offensive tactics. Mobilized battleship is scary. We have to respect this. So I have to slow down how I'm going to play this round now and think about how do I stop that. That's a bit not good. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Advanced offensive tactics. Take a steel ball for the right side. Take a crawler pack for the right side. Take a tower level on either side. Be safe about it. Let's make another crawler that just comes out like right here. Maybe like even like right here, to be honest. Just have this crawler like get around the marksman. Protect these two hounds here from any type of missile weird stuff in the middle, and also this marksman will be busy now on these crawlers while these are dead. So my saber isn't so compromised, and hopefully this saber has a chance to not be dead because these crawlers are able to get in front as well fast enough. Let's also add ourselves a missile device right here just to be extra safe so that I can ideally also try to get a faster hit on his saber. So we're going to try to speed this engage up a lot more right now. All right, I got to hit on his saber first. So this is already going way better. He has more typhoons in the flank. Our saber in the middle is currently working the front line pretty hard. It died, but we have steel balls on the tower. Hounds are killing the rest of the army on the left. That was the first round, I would say, that finally started going a lot better for us. He sold the marksman? Yeah, I think he sold it so we could put the DPS on a typhoon. He's got typhoons with damage devices right now. He's got 2 of them. So he's trying to typhoon me, essentially. Okay. That could be noticing that he's going for deviced typhoons. This could be another device right now with a haste module for him. It's totally possible. But here's something else we can do that's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Debating if I want to actually do it. No, let's not. I'm not going to do it. It's okay. I won't do it. Haste module. I'll take the haste module myself. I'll put it on my I'll put it on my saber. I'll give my sabers regen like I said I was going to earlier so that these things are just way more powerful. I'll also give myself mechanical rage on my hounds now. Let's give ourselves 1 crawler pack in the back of this tower just so like no weird flanks can happen. No weird stuff in the back of my base. We have nothing protecting here, so at least a crawler pack would kill anything on the ground that would go for the tower right away. And I think what we're going to do as well is we're going to add ourselves... I think I'm just going to add myself 1 more hound pack, like right here, that just really moves forward quickly and supports our sabers. Our sabers now with regen, though, is a big deal. That's a huge deal. It's a very big deal. They're really going to get in there quickly now. And the fact that they have regen, too, is pretty massive. Like, I actually just won that saber fight and that typhoon fight because I regenerated through it. So now these things are going to level up a lot more because they're surviving fights they wouldn't otherwise be surviving. He's going for my tower in the back with a flank of typhoons. But the tower is leveled up a little bit, so it's not really breaking me. And yeah, this haste module, both my sabers on the left with regen, world of difference there. If you guys noticed, they were getting killed, they almost died, they actually barely survived both their fights. but they did because they kept regenerating, and it kept requiring more time for them to die. And then ultimately they won the fight, and then they started regenerating because what was killing them is now dead. So it worked out wonderfully. All right. I think there is totally a possibility he adds to this flank right now where the Typhoons currently are. So getting something right now to crush this is a good idea. He left a room in the front. A lot of people tend to put crawlers in the front, so it protects them from single target DPS. He also left a room in the back. He might put something else behind it. This Typhoon is in the middle lane of that flank. You can tell because it's not against the wall. It's not against the front either. I think just for the sake of simplicity, we haven't really used much of them yet. We're going to add a fortress. We'll put a fortress right here. The fortress will protect my tower, shoot at the Typhoon. It will also tank the Typhoon for a long time, a very long time. So if he's trying to like hit my tower, this thing is going to protect the tower for a while. Let's level my sabers. Let's level my hounds. Everybody's doing great. That Typhoon up there is definitely kind of scary. It's kind of a problem. But we're also holding him at bay for a little while, so it's also like not a big deal at the same time. One thing we do not have right now is anti-air, and we're also both of us are getting kind of low. It's round 7. We have no anti-air at all this game. So we have to realize, yes, our opponent's going for a Typhoon playstyle, and yes, we've kind of like controlled everything we have, but let's get something that can control air for us. We'll just go ahead and do something simple. We'll just get a couple of Farseer. I'll get a Farseer in the front. Let's get another crawler pack like in the back that comes out late. But yeah, we have some Farseer now. The Farseer, easy peasy. It doesn't have to be Farseer. I just chose Farseer because you know, it's a nice choice. It would deal with AoE, air, like Wasp. It would deal with Phoenix. It would deal with anything. Overlord, Abyss, you name it. It's got upgrades to deal with literally the entire roster of air. Okay, so we get a Paralyze, and one of my Sabers is still alive, so this thing's gonna get level 3 this round. So both my Sabers on the left, just fucking, they're just crushing round after round, and this should be the final round. I think there's just too much damage on the board right now. So we not only are we paying attention to our build, we're paying attention to our opponent's build. All right, we're gonna look at the battlefield really fast. So right now in this board, we have a left side stack. Again, think about the board in quadrants, right? Our opponent has a very high density of investment. A very high density of investment. On the, like, he's got a high investment on the left side. He has nothing really in the middle, and he has barely anything on the right. So this is a 1 quadrant board. This is very dense. And on the right side, there is one thing that I will just throw this out there. If you ever realize your opponent is playing this way, and your opponent is like just leveling up their tower, and just like they're like not trying to play that side of the board, they just don't care about that side of the board. Whatever you have on your, the more things you have, the more controlled you are, and these things will eventually engage the rest of the fight later on. So if you realize you've invested too many things or whatever, you could always sell them if you want to, but realistically, I think a great counter to this is simply just getting a steel ball. You just make a steel ball, and a steel ball is a cheap investment that has ramping damage, and there are 4 of them, and they just really break a tower apart pretty fast. So steel ball is a great time counter to somebody who levels their tower. You make their investment feel bad because you kill it very quickly. And the steel ball aren't getting punished because they're protected by whatever else you have there. So that's one way to break someone who's playing one side of the board. I think steel balls are a great answer. Melting points can do it too, but you gotta keep in mind, melting points are more expensive. That's about it. And then on the left side of the board, we have a flank going on against us. We are flanking him. So we've both, whenever you have someone who stacks up their board like this, don't forget, horizontal is about quadrant. So this quadrant versus this quadrant is really what is the focus here. This quadrant is kind of going splitsies here. Some of them are going to the right, some of them are going to the left. The reason why it works that way is because wherever its position on the board is, whatever is closest to it, it will latch onto that and go that direction. So these units are all closest to that saber or that Fang squad. One of those things, the corner of this, one of the spots is getting the attention of all these units. You can see the saber is getting these guys. You can click them to find out. One of the hounds is going to the right. How do I know that? Because it physically is looking that direction. And 4 of the hounds are going left. They literally stand like that before the round starts. Where are all these crawlers going? Every single crawler is pointing its little drill nose to the left. So every crawler is going left. The game has to signify a split arrow if at least one unit in the squad is going the other direction, which is why this squad has 2 arrows, whereas the crawler only has 1. All of these crawlers are going this way. All of these guys are going that way. All of those, and so on and so on. And obviously, the further into the board I go, clearly they're all going to go this way. And then these guys are all going straight because the tower is actually the closest thing to all of these guys, because these guys are pretty much right quadrant or close to it. So now again, if we think about within the quadrant of the left, time now, this is the first part of the fight for these guys. This is the second part of the fight for these guys. This is the third part of the fight for these guys. But instead of making these guys have a lot of fights where they get overwhelmed quickly, because I was losing the fight a little bit there, what I decided to do was analyze that he has really high DPS in the front. Okay, he had a saber here, he has a typhoon here, and he has a saber here. They were winning. They won like 4 rounds in a row against us. There was like that first round we had that was really nice, and then there was like 4 rounds after that where I lost. And it's because my sabers were losing the fight every single time. From that point on, these Fangs were great. The Fang squad was really protecting them, and it like disrupted the fight. And then these other units were coming out behind and like flooding out, and I would consistently lose my sabers. And if I lose the sabers, I lose the ability to kill his saber, because my only DPS in my army for the majority of this game was my saber. It was just my saber. And then finally later on we got a fortress drop, and then we added in some anti-air, which was Farseer eventually, and we had that. But what we decided to do as a supplement to trying to win the fight before we had more DPS and more other range of units was going, we got a drop for steel balls. We got 3 steel balls. It was a nice choice as well, because this also allowed us, we could have even put 2 steel balls up here if we really wanted to, and put a 3rd one over here instead of making 4 steel balls in total. Whatever. We put 3 up here. And why did we do it? Because I wanted his AoE unit to get a bad engage. Arclight without upgrades is not going to kill steel balls very fast. It's also not going to kill my crawlers that are over here anymore, and my crawlers that are over here anymore. This Arclight no longer did a great job versus my chaff. These Typhoons are going to be fine, but the Arclight's not helping anymore. He made this Typhoon a little bit later right here. This is not an initial Typhoon he had, but in general, you can notice his units are turning to the left. His units are turning to the left. Like these Mustangs they're all going here. These crawlers are now going this way. These crawlers, these guys, all these Fangs, all of them are turned this direction, going at my steel balls. So all of his chaff now, why does this matter? It matters because earlier they were able to, like, these crawlers could be in front of this saber. If there was like a stopwatch, it'd be like, all right, this front crawler gets in front of that saber in 8 seconds, 11 seconds, whatever. Move speed changes this. So like if he were to be getting temporary speed, which he is, it changes how fast it happens. It happens even quicker. But now instead of going the correct direction, they're going the other direction, which goes opposite away from what he wants to protect. And now this allows my sabers more time to have a chance to look at his power units and kill them. And if I kill this front chunk right there of those two Typhoons, that saber, that fort, and these 2 Typhoons right here, if I can kill all of these power units, which wouldn't take very long, my saber can 1-shot or 2-shot all of those units. I do 55,000 damage a shot on this Sabertooth right here. This fortress has 100k, so it would take 2 shots to kill the fortress, but every other unit, 35k, 32k, 21k. This 55,000 damage saber would kill every single unit here in 1 shot, aside from that fortress. So if I can make that happen, that's amazing. And we also saw the power of regen, right? If I can make it happen without getting stuck on his chaff, because the only way I'm losing this fight is if I'm shooting at crawlers. If I'm shooting at his fangs, whatever. That's really the only way it's losing. Another cool thing we could do too, to really disrupt this for our opponent, is we could drop oil right there. Not here necessarily, but right here. Drop an oil right there. And what this would do is put a snare on move speed massively on all of his chaff to make his front units exposed longer. We don't even need to light the oil on fire. We could just leave oil there. And now his saber has slower backup. His typhoons have slower backup. His typhoons and his sabers also are formidable. They do a lot of damage. They don't one-shot my sabers, but they over time they could like 5-shot it. So it does get kind of scary. But yeah, we just basically need to make sure we're connecting with our shots. We need to make sure we're connecting with our shots. Keep in mind too, he might have sold the marksman as well after I made the crawler here. And this saber, the marksman seemed really good when this crawler pack didn't exist. But the fact that this crawler pack exists, this forces more typhoons to exist here, or more crawler. Like, you have to start playing deeper into the board if you want to protect things that are more towards the right. And the marksman was like over here or something, or it was like behind where these fangs are. So the marksman was like basically shooting at crawlers, because these crawlers aren't getting killed by anything coming this direction. Like when they're coming this way, they get killed once they're like on top of the saber from the typhoon here, because these typhoons are going to currently be busy shooting at my sabers in the front and my counts and stuff. Like they're going to be busy. So like, I'm not going to say it was good or bad. It's just, it requires more things to synergize, and putting damage devices on typhoons is totally fine. I also do that myself. I think if you're going to play typhoons and upgrade typhoons, it's great. I think typhoons are honestly very strong with damage devices. But yeah, that's essentially what the game was. Analyzing, understanding our DPS, and supporting it and making it work. And sabers is just a cool concept, because especially with Sabertooth Specialist, we get a free saber, so we get a bonus one. And on top of that, all of their upgrades are 50 cheaper all the time. So it's just easier and more affordable slightly to juice out your sabers if you want to. And this game, we simply just went for a cheaper field maintenance, just one field maintenance upgrade, and that was it. And it is very powerful how good it is as an upgrade, because it does increase the HP of the unit, but also 4.5% max HP a second is kind of substantial when this unit has 90,000 health. It heals quite a lot. It's healing rapidly, pretty fast. And then the back of the board here, obviously, he flanked us. We have chaff kind of covering the flanks a little bit to buy us time. These things will turn and go to the flank. And we got a fortress drop, which just like acts as a new form of DPS that's just like opportunistic, because it was a drop. If he were to sell out of the flank, I could sell out of my fort. If he doesn't sell out of it, if he keeps investing more and more and more squads into the flank, I will respect that, and I will assess it round to round and go, what was changed? Do I need more help here? That's literally Mechabellum. So when I feel like Mechabellum can be overwhelming when you look at a board and you go, I don't understand how it got to this point. But if you play round to round to round, and you develop and you understand developments, then you can start understanding the board and go, what even is the point of whatever is here? What is the point of that typhoon? What is the point of that typhoon over there? What's the point of this guy? What's the point of these guys in the flank? Why do they exist? You just gotta understand. There are understanding the initial round one engagements is nice. Understanding quadrants of the board that need to be protected, whether it be AoE, single target, or location based, or air based, right? Like these things all matter. And there's all these jobs we keep seeing for units. But if you just look at how the board develops and go, oh, I'm winning here. Why are you winning? If you can understand that, great. If you can't understand it, it's okay. But if you're losing, try to look at like individual units and go, especially the things that really stand out are, what are his investments? Where is his money being invested into? The higher the level the unit is, the more investment he's put repeatedly into it, the more upgrades it has, the more investment they've put into it again. And these things all add up. Leveling up a unit does not get more expensive every time you level it, but upgrading its abilities does. Every time you grab an upgrade, each following upgrade is now always even 200 higher. So if Aerial Specialist only costs 250, if he takes any other upgrade before Aerial Spec, it's now 450. If he takes 2 upgrades before Aerial Spec, it's 650. If he takes all 3 upgrades before Aerial Spec, it's now 850. Because every remaining upgrade increases by 200 every time you grab an upgrade. The remaining ones all increase by 200, and it works like that for every single unit in this game. That's just how upgrades work in this game for abilities you can turn on. And that's pretty much it. This game was very air light. There was not a single air unit this entire game, and sometimes Mechabellum boards look like this. Not always, but sometimes they do. And you do need to, at some point, start respecting the possibility of air, especially if your health bar is kind of getting low, because if your opponent makes something that can break your board in half simply because it's an air unit and you have no anti-air, you could lose the game in one round, getting to the point where you're like round 7. That's why I've said, like before, like around round 5, like if we don't have any anti-air, you might want to think about maybe adding that in your army. Otherwise, you're playing with fire there.